Yo, stay wavy TV, ride the vibe with me, splash through your screen, drip clean like the sea, high tide energy, never on mute.
Good, y'all. It's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. We're just hours away from the first Raw of 2026, and this will be the anniversary of Raw on Netflix. And guess who's coming back tonight, y'all? Break the walls down! Chris Jericho is highly rumored to make his official return to the WWE tonight on Monday Night Raw, okay? I'm excited about this. I think Chris Jericho has one of the greatest debuts in WWE, WWF history. Chris Jericho is a legend. I love the Walls of Jericho, one of the best finishers in the history of the WWE, right? So I'm looking forward to that. But let's talk about this past episode of Friday Night Smackdown. This is the first Smackdown of 2026, and this is the first 3-hour Smackdown of the year, okay? So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm surprised I'm saying this. This episode of Friday Night Smackdown was not trash, but it was not good. It was mid, okay? It was right in the middle. It was mid, right? There was a lot of exciting things that happened. There was a lot of surprising return. There was a surprise return that happened. And there was a couple of debuts that happened on this episode of SmackDown. But this is what Triple H does, guys. Instead of just booking a good all-around show, he just likes to do little, surprise appearances, surprise backstage segments of a person that you haven't seen on the show before. But there was so much more that we could have got out of this episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And you know what this episode of SmackDown reminded me of, guys? It reminded me of a very famous fast food franchise, Raising Cane's, right? Now, let's be honest, guys. I think everybody would agree that Raising Cane's probably has the best chicken tenders, right? But you know what's missing from Raising Cane's to make Raising Cane's one of the best fast food franchises, period? Seasoning. There is no goddamn seasoning on Raising Cane's food, bruh. The chicken tenders don't got seasoning. The French fries don't got seasoning. You know what I'm saying? There's no seasoning. If they would just add some goddamn seasoning on that food, Raising Cane's would be the #1 fast food, probably, I'm not gonna say in the world, but definitely in America. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what was missing from Friday Night SmackDown, guys. There was no seasoning. There was a lot of, things that were okay, that was a little bit excited, but there was no seasoning on it. Okay? So we start the show off with The Miz, right? Now that's a problem right there. Under no circumstances should you ever start an episode of SmackDown with The Miz. Now, with all due respect, I totally understand that The Miz is the first Grand Slam champion in WWE history. The Miz is a legend, okay? He's done everything you could possibly do in the WWE. But in 2026, let's be honest, guys, The Miz is a jobber, okay? He's a certified jobber. Nothing more, nothing less. The Miz loses 98.9% of his matches. At this point in his career, I wouldn't even consider him a mid-carder. He's basically a mentor for the locker room. He's a guy that gets talent over. Nothing more, nothing less. He's not in the main event picture. He's not in the mid-card picture. The guy barely wrestles, and when he does, he loses. So The Miz kicks off SmackDown, right? And The Miz starts to show off complaining about not being John Cena's final opponent. Then he calls out all the rookie wrestlers for not appreciating his guidance. Miz calls out Joe Hendry and R-Truth for ruining his final SmackDown of 2025. The Miz at this point is putting everybody to sleep, guys. He's putting everybody to sleep, talking about a bunch of nonsense. He brings up the fact that he's the first ever Grand Slam champ in WWE history. And honestly, I think a lot of people forgot that he accomplished this because of how poorly he's been booked for the past 10 years. He's been a jobber for the past 10 years. So thank God, Randy Orton, the legend killer, who's been gone for the past 4 or 5 months with no injury, interrupts The Miz and walks out to the ring. Boy, did I miss Randy Orton, man. What a great way to kick off 2026 with Randy Orton making his return. Randy Orton looked like he was about to cry, and it goes to show that he never wanted to be away this long. Triple H just had no storyline for him. Ever since Kevin Owens got injured, because I believe Randy Orton was officially going to turn heel in that match that he was supposed to have with Kevin Owens. But ever since Kevin Owens got that injury and that match was canceled, Triple H just has no idea what to do with Randy Orton. But I did notice that Randy Orton lost some weight. He looks like he's in the best shape that he's been in for a long time, which goes to show that while he was out of the ring, he was focusing on his diet. He was staying in the gym, which is a good thing because last time we saw Randy Orton, he was the biggest we've ever seen him in his career. Right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously when people get older, they gain weight. But I like the fact that Randy Orton is in better shape. It's a better look for Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? Because Randy Orton is old, but Randy Orton is like in his mid-40s. He's probably going to retire within the next 3 to 4 years. So it's good to see that he's taking care of his weight. So, The Miz tells Randy Orton that they are both leaders of the locker room and could be Miz KO. How corny is that, bro? Why does Miz always have to mix his name with somebody else? And remember when he was working with Carmelo Hayes? Oh, we're going to be, what did he say? Miz don't miss? This shit is so corny, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro. The fact that The Miz has gotten to this point in his career where he's just an absolute cornball, it's sad to see, bro. I wish wrestlers like Miz would just go to a different company and get booked better. Like, I would love to see Miz go to AEW or TNA and actually get taken serious for his character. Right? So long story short, Randy Orton does us all a favor. He RKO's Miz. The crowd asks Randy to RKO him again. Randy picks him up and RKO's him for the second time, and then he walks out of the ring. You guys see what I mean? This segment had no seasoning, bro. Randy Orton got the mic, and instead of talking, the only thing he did was RKO Miz and walk out of the ring. How many times have we seen Randy Orton RKO somebody and then just leave? Randy Orton, you've been gone for the past 5 months, bro. We want to know where the hell you've been at. This was a perfect opportunity for Randy Orton to let the fans know, why were you gone for the past 5 months? Even if you don't tell us the truth, you could have came up with some type of fake reasoning and put it in kayfabe. He could have said so many things and been creative about why he's been gone for the past 5 months. There was no seasoning on this segment to open up the show. Are we happy that Randy Orton is back? Yes. But Randy Orton didn't tell us why he was gone for so long. So anyway, next we have a backstage segment between Lash Legend, Nia Jax, and the Kabuki Warriors. Nia and Lash say that they're going to help them win their match tonight, which is basically a War Games Part 2. We're having a Part 2 of the same thing that we already saw at War Games. This is why Triple H is the worst booker in wrestling, guys. We already saw this a month ago at War Games Survivor Series. So on the first SmackDown of 2026, we're getting a Part 2 of the Kabuki Warriors versus Rio versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So the Kabuki Warriors basically agree and say a whole bunch of gibberish. I really wish they would get better at speaking English, y'all. This whole thing that the Kabuki Warriors are doing, where they're just saying a bunch of stuff that nobody understands, it's not funny. Like, does Triple H actually think this shit is funny? This shit is embarrassing, bro. These are grown-ass women that are in their 30s and 40s that are speaking a bunch of gibberish that they know the audience does not understand. So if you ask me, this backstage segment was completely pointless. So backstage, Randy Orton tells Cody he's glad to be back, and he makes it clear after Cody successfully beats Drew McIntyre, he's coming for that title again. Randy Orton, bro, nobody is taking you serious, brother. Okay? You lost the King of the Ring match with Cody Rhodes, where you had the chance to face John Cena for the title. Right? You lost to Cody Rhodes really like 3 times last year. Why should anybody take Randy Orton serious about facing Cody Rhodes for that title. You've been out of the ring for 5 months for no reason, right? I don't think anybody is believing that Randy Orton is going to beat Cody Rhodes for that title. It's just not going to happen, bro. I'd much rather see Randy Orton go after the World Heavyweight title against either CM Punk or Braun Breaker. This whole Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing, right? It's just weird because it's obvious that Randy Orton is not going to turn heel against Cody Rhodes. It's just not going to happen. He was going to turn heel against Kevin Owens, but he's not going to do it against Cody Rhodes, bro. So anyway, let's move on. Nick Aldis tells Cody that if he touches Drew before their match in Berlin, he will lose the title. Cody says that's not going to happen. This might be a way of Cody turning heel. Maybe he beats up Drew and loses the title and turns heel. I would like to see that, man, because Cody Rhodes' babyface run is boring, bro. Like, so many people honestly believe that Cody Rhodes is basically like the new babyface of the company now that John Cena's retired. I disagree, bro. How everybody is looking at Cody, that's how I look at LA Knight. If anybody's going to be the next babyface in the company after John Cena, it's LA Knight. You want to know why? Because he's entertaining. He's good on the mic. He can cut promos. Cody Rhodes is just boring, bro. Cody Rhodes is always talking about respect and libations and what do you want to talk about? Bruh, this man is boring. But I honestly believe if Cody Rhodes was to turn heel, I think his character would be much more entertaining. So anyway, let's get into the first match of the night, which is Survivor Series Part 2. Lash Legend in this match did a sick big boot after Io Sky jumped off the ropes. I'm telling y'all, man, Lash Legend to me is the female Kane, bro. Like, when you look at the height, the size, the dominance of Lash Legend, bro, Lash Legend to me is the female Kane. If she would have debuted wearing a mask, bro, she literally would be the female Kane, bro. And I would love to see Lash Legend just go on a dominant run, just squashing everybody, bro. Because she has all of the tools to be a superstar. Like, bro, like the fact that women like Tiffany Stratton moved up from NXT and just immediately became a main eventer is insane. Because think about this, guys. Besides having blonde hair, right? What is special about Tiffany Stratton? She botches all of her moves in the ring. Her theme song is terrible. Her character is terrible. Like, what is likable about Tiffany Stratton? Lash Legend is tall, athletic. She's a former WNBA player. And she looks like she's actually hurting these girls in the ring, bro. She's a superstar to me. If she gets booked properly, bro, I think she could have a career similar to Kane. Just in a woman form, you know what I'm saying? So, I think she has a way better big boot than Gunther, who's supposed to be the king of the ring, right? The fact that a woman has a better big boot than Gunther. Like I said, bro, I don't get the whole king of the ring thing that's attached to Gunther. Lash Legend has the potential to dominate the women's division. Lash and Nia, they're clearly the most dominant tag team in the women's division. You know, but Rhea and Io, they were able to avoid the match interruptions from Lash and Nia, and they won the match. No surprise, right? Like, Rhea Ripley is basically the female Hulk Hogan. I wasn't surprised at all that they won this match. But I do think the whole kayfabe relationship between Rhea and Io is kind of weird. They kind of have like a lesbian relationship going on. And it just goes to show that Triple H was probably at the Diddy parties. I'm pretty sure Triple H was at the Diddy parties, man. So next backstage, Nick Aldis tells Jordynne Grace, who has officially made her debut on SmackDown, right? Not a match debut, but she showed up multiple times on this show. I was very happy to see Jordynne Grace because Jordynne Grace is one of my favorite female wrestlers. I think she's better than 90% of the main roster. I think she's better than Stephanie Valkyrie. I think she's better than Jade Cargill. No disrespect to Jade Cargill because I like her. But it's long overdue for Jordynne Grace to be on the main roster, right? So shout out to that, right? Next, some jobber named Kit Wilson who was a part of the group Pretty Deadly, comes out with the new theme song, and it's a Britney Spears type of music entrance, guys. The entire crowd was dead. This is why SmackDown isn't even averaging 1 million views consistently, guys. Why is Kit Wilson on the main roster? Why is he signed to the WWE, bro? This guy should be released immediately, bro. This guy's whole character is a complete joke. The fact that he's actually making money as an active wrestler is insane. Kit Wilson. So Zack Ryder comes out. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. I was hoping it would be my boy Trick Williams. I would love to see Trick Williams finally have his debut match on the main roster, but it is what it is. So we find out from Michael Cole that Zack Ryder is officially back with the WWE from TNA. And instead of going back to his original name, he's still going to keep the name Matt Cardona. I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. Shout out to Zack Ryder. I know he's been around for a long time. But Zack Ryder has always been a jobber, bro. I'm not excited about him coming back to the WWE at all. I'm not excited at all, right? So Zack Ryder wins the match like we all expected. Let's move on. Backstage, we got an interview from Damian Priest, and he says that after 6 months battling with Aleister Black, enough is enough. Guys, this is why people don't watch this garbage. The fact that Damian Priest, who was the LGBT Undertaker, the fact that he's been feuding with Aleister Black for 6 months straight is fucking insane. Guys, think about this. If you didn't watch SmackDown for the past 5 months, you didn't miss anything. Because the same thing that was happening 5 months ago is still happening in 2026. Damian Priest and Aleister Black are still fighting each other. They fought each other 20 times in the last 5 months. But now tonight they got an ambulance match and we're supposed to care. Next, Sami Zayn, who's been gone for weeks, shows up and talks about watching John Cena's last match. Who cares, bro? He brings up the fact that his son asked him why he hasn't been a major world champion yet. And Sami Zayn basically cries about never winning the title and how his son is begging him to become the undisputed champion. And guess what, guys? Guess who saved us from this boredom? My dog, Trick Williams. Let's talk about it. Whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. Hey, whoop that Trick. Trick Williams comes out and cuts a better promo than 90% of the main roster. Trick Williams, who just moved up from NXT, on his first promo in the ring, he cut a better promo than 90% of the main roster, bro. To all of the people that keep saying, oh, Braun Breaker, he's the future. Bro, this promo that Trick Williams cut on SmackDown is better than any promo that Braun Breaker has cut in his wrestling career. NXT and Raw combined. Trick Williams' promo was better than that. So Trick says that he's here because Nick Aldis called 1-800-WHOOP-THAT-TRICK. He said that Nick called him because SmackDown needs some flavor. Which is facts. I agree, bro. Most of these people on SmackDown, they have no character, bro. Besides their in-ring ability, which is mid, they have no character on the mic. They can't cut promos. They're not good baby faces or heels. Trick Williams has everything that is missing with that. And I've been telling y'all, man, Trick Williams cuts great promos. He could be a baby face and he's a better heel than he is baby face, but he could be both, right? He's tall, athletic, everything you look for in a superstar wrestler. So my boy Trick makes it clear that he's here to be world champion, and he says that it's not going to take him 10 years to be a major world champion like Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn says that Trick looks good. Pause. Sami Zayn, why are you telling Trick Williams that he's handsome, bro? You're a grown-ass man, bro. Pause. So he basically tells Trick that he needs to be humbled. Sami Zayn says that he wants to teach Trick a lesson about being humble, right? Triple H. You better not let Trick Williams lose to this jobber Sami Zayn, bro. If Trick Williams loses to Sami Zayn, it's obvious that Triple H is jealous of Trick Williams. Because let's be honest, guys, Trick Williams is very confident. He is very cocky. But anybody that's a wrestler or a professional athlete should be confident and cocky. Because if you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else believe in you? Sami Zayn's whole character is about being an insecure loser. And that's exactly what he is. He's a mid-card jobber. Trick Williams better not lose to Sami Zayn, bro, or we're gonna riot. We're gonna riot, okay? So backstage, Ilya's jacking off. Ilya's jacking off asks Carmelo Hayes if he's going to continue the open challenge, and Melo says yes. Guys, you see what I'm talking about? Guys, we just had an open challenge for that U.S. title for the past 4 months on SmackDown. It's 2026, and Carmelo Hayes is going to continue the open challenge. You know what that means, guys? That means that Carmelo Hayes is not going to have this title for much longer. I'm going to go ahead on this channel and predict that within the next 2 months, Carmelo Hayes is going to lose that title. And this is why nobody takes the United States Championship title serious. That's why when Carmelo Hayes finally won his first title on the main roster, I wasn't too excited. Because the U.S. title is the most least valued title on the main roster. It's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. So anyway, backstage, Trick Williams shows up again. And I love the fact that Triple H is using Trick Williams the right way. Even though he hasn't had his first match yet, the fact that he's been showing up on SmackDown and Raw consistently, it shows that Triple H actually has big plans for Trick Williams. So Trick gets into an argument with Rey Fenix, and Nick Aldis announces that Trick will face him next week on SmackDown. Now, this doesn't make any sense to me because he literally just had a promo with Sami Zayn, and he agreed that he's going to fight Sami Zayn. Then 5 minutes later, Nick Aldis says he's going to fight Rey Fenix. So which one is which? Is he going to fight Rey Fenix or is he going to fight Sami Zayn? So it's obvious that this match between Trick Williams and Rey Fenix, whenever it does happen, the match is going to be interrupted by Sami Zayn. It's going to be a disqualification. And then we're going to get Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. It's obvious, bro. It's obvious, right? So next we get Melo Hayes versus Johnny Gargano. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I think this was the worst match of the night. Not because of Carmelo Hayes, but because this match was just way too long and it was boring. Melo hits the first 48, then does the nothing but net and wins, bro. This match felt like it was like 40 minutes long. I don't understand why this match was so long. Johnny Gargano's a jobber. This match shouldn't have been that long, okay? Next, we get a backstage segment with Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura. And they were speaking to each other. It sounds like they were communicating with each other in Japanese, which I found very odd, right? Tama Tonga is supposed to be cosplaying a Samoan, and he's speaking Japanese, right? Interesting. So Solo Sikoa pops up and says that they're going to take the tag team titles, and he tells Tama Tongalua, whatever the hell his name is, that they're going to get out of Buffalo and to get ready for their match next week. So Jade Cargill pops up and says that she injured Meechin Green on purpose. Then Jordan Grace pops up and tells Jade that she's thinking about signing to SmackDown. Jade calls her a pigeon and tells her that she's that bitch. How many times is Jade Cargill gonna tell us that she's that bitch? We get it, Jade Cargill. You're that bitch, okay? But at the end of the day, your title reign has been boring. And I'm tired of seeing Jade Cargill squash matches. I would like to see Jade Cargill in a serious match so we can actually get entertained by her title reign. Because at this point in time, her title reign might be worse than Tiffany Stratton's. And I hate to say that because I'm a fan of Jade Cargill. I think she's very beautiful, very gorgeous. I think she's a beast in that ring. But her title reign has not been entertaining at all. We can't blame Jade Cargill for that. We got to blame Triple H. So next, Cody Rhodes walks out to cut a promo for his upcoming 3 Stages of Hell match with Drew McIntyre. This promo was horrible, okay? Cody Rhodes says that when he sees Drew McIntyre, he sees lunch. Pause. Cody Diddy Rhodes is wilding, right? Drew responds and says that Cody is so predictable, and I agree with Drew on this. Drew says the first stage of Hell in their match is a regular match. 2, the falls are going to count anywhere and they can use weapons. And the third level is inside of a steel cage. Drew then shows a picture frame of Cody Rhodes and his father, Dusty Rhodes, and then throws it on the floor and steps on it. Cody runs backstage to look for Drew. Once he's backstage, Drew shows up in the ring with the pitcher and the trash can, and he basically sets the pitcher on fire. Cody tries to attack Drew in the ring. The security stops him from doing that so Cody doesn't lose his title. And listen, man, if Drew McIntyre doesn't win this match, then all of this is pointless, bro. Drew McIntyre, to me, is the biggest heel in the company. I think he's a bigger heel than Gunther. And at the end of the day, bro, if Drew does not win that title after he fights Cody Rhodes for the 10th time in a year, just let my man go to AEW, bro. Okay? So next we get Chelsea Green versus Julia for the 10th time, guys. Nobody cares. You guys see what I mean with the no seasoning thing, bro? This whole episode of SmackDown was just shocking pops, right? People just showing up to get people excited. But when you look at the actual matches that was booked for this show, these are a bunch of matches that we've already seen 5 to 10 times. How many times have we seen Chelsea Green versus Julia? Nobody gives a fuck. Long story short, Julia wins her title back. She should have never lost the title in the first place. Who gives a fuck? Next, we got a backstage segment between Rio and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And basically, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss tells them good luck against the Kabuki Warriors. And if they win the titles, they want to get a rematch so they can get their titles back. Who cares? So next, we got the main event ambulance match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black. This match was filled with ads, guys. A majority of this match was literally ads. We didn't even really get to see the match and hear the commentary because they showed like 20 ads in this one match. Zelina opens up the ambulance door and Rhea Ripley is in there. She riptied Zelina Vega, but this doesn't help Priest because he's still laid out on the floor, okay? So Black fails to get Priest in the ambulance. Priest fireballs Aleister Black in the eye, and somehow Aleister Black is still in the match. Guys, think about what I just said. Damian Priest fireballed Aleister Black in his eye, and Aleister Black was still fighting, competing. He was actually still in the match after he just got fire in his eyes. This is why so many people don't watch wrestling anymore, guys. They don't even try to make wrestling real anymore. If somebody puts fire in your eyeball, you're done. When Aleister Black fireballed Damian Priest, the match was immediately over. But somehow Aleister Black is immune to fire getting in his eyeballs. So long story short, guys, Damian Priest razors edge Aleister Black onto the windshield of the ambulance. Then he puts Aleister Black on top of the ambulance and does the worst choke slam I've ever seen in my life, guys. This choke slam that Damian Priest did to Aleister Black to win this match, he botched this choke slam so bad. And I kind of think that he did that because he was trying his best to not injure Aleister Black, you know, choke slamming him from on top of the ambulance to the ground. But come on, guys, like this choke slam was awful. So long story short, Damian Priest won the match. I don't ever want to see Damian Priest and Aleister Black fight ever again. If I ever watch another episode of SmackDown and I see Damian Priest fighting Aleister Black, I'm turning SmackDown off. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to review it. Enough is enough. These guys have fought each other 10 times in the last 5 months. I don't want to see Aleister Black ever fight Damian Priest again, bro. So if I was to rate this episode of SmackDown, I would give it a 5 out of 10. Like I said, I'm glad that Randy Orton showed up for the first time in months. I'm glad that Trick Williams had 2 different, segments backstage and in the ring. I love the fact that Jordan Grace showed up. But this show had no seasoning, bro. Randy Orton didn't explain to us why he was gone for so long. Randy Orton did not have a match on SmackDown. Trick Williams, he bro, why couldn't Trick Williams fight Sami Zayn on SmackDown? Why did Sami Zayn and Trick Williams agree to fight each other, and then 5 minutes later, him and Rey Fenix are announced to fight each other this week on SmackDown? Why not just have Trick Williams fight Sami Zayn on SmackDown the night that they cut the promo, and then this week you have him fight Rey Fenix? But instead, we have to wait until this Friday to see Trick Williams fight Rey Fenix just for Sami Zayn to interrupt the match, and the match ends in disqualification. This is the garbage booking of Triple H. So with that being said, guys, it's your boy Wavy. Stay Wavy TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment. And I'm excited for Raw, man. I might do a review on Raw tonight. You know, I look forward to Chris Jericho returning. It's your boy Wavy. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.
Yeah, welcome to the vibe. Stay wavy in the mix, got the culture on the rise. Tap in, hit subscribe, ring that bell, let it ride. We gon' surf through the trends, give you game every time. Reviews, new views, keep it honest, never fake. If you're looking for the wave, this the channel you embrace. Stay